Hi everyone, it's Kevin. I'll be looking at the topic of reimagining intellectual property with a particular focus on authorship in the digital age. So historically, intellectual property, including patents, copyrights, trademarks, written works, and design, have been closely linked to capitalist, mercantile, and traditional interpretations of property and ownership. Even today, it seems perfectly natural to attach proprietary rights to intellectual creations, particularly within a culture such as our own that has commoditized and attached these rights to everything from plants and animals to minerals and land. However, I think it is fair to say that this traditional definition or interpretation of intellectual property has in many respects been turned on its head or at least been significantly challenged by the evolution of digital technology and the coming of the digital age. This new reality has brought about calls for a rethink of our approach to and definition of intellectual property. The topic of intellectual property is incredibly wide in scope, so for the purpose of this presentation, I will be examining writing and the nature of authorship in particular in the digital age, and the pedagogical impact of these new realities and interpretations. Print-based intellectual and creative works historically required a publisher's stewardship and were rooted in an adherence to the laws of private property. With the advent of the digital world, these definitions have become blurred to some degree. For example, the importance of publishers is declining in today's digital world. The idea of the publisher as gatekeeper or filter of written work is simply not as relevant today, given our new digital realities, while at the same time the role of reader and writer has become more important. Technologies have multiplied the possibilities of both producing and consuming written works, and given reliable technology access, brought authors and readers together in many collaborative formats. The ability for people to now write collaboratively, what Fitzpatrick calls the multivocality of new media, has led many to question the traditional view of the author as an autonomous producer of knowledge. In their article, Turn It In, Technological Challenges to Academic Ethics, DeCastle and Jensen challenge what they call an epistemic misconception of ourselves as autonomous producers of knowledge, thoughts, and ideas within a system that values knowledge as an economic currency, ingrained with the capitalist assumption that ideas, knowledge, and art are created by individuals who have rights of ownership. Today, digital technologies and tools, including a variety of web-based writing platforms such as blogs, online forums, wikis, search engines, news aggregates, shared writing websites, digital magazines, and newspapers, play a formative role in intellectual inquiry and composition and directly challenge traditional economic rights of ownership. They also complicate the notion, as Raymond suggests, of copyrighted written works as simply individual discrete packages of goods, while making certain types of collaboration, including forms of imitation and copying, more common. It is also true that this new technology and the tools that have developed from it have created new ways to manipulate, appropriate, write, rewrite, and link to written materials. This has in many ways mitigated or relinquished the illusion of creating autonomous textual works, what DeCastle and Jensen call the modern delusion of autonomy. For the authors, authorship has always been distributed and socially shared. This reality is simply more evident in new media environments and in popular media expressions, where community participation, with an emphasis on exchange, collaboration, and responsibility to a public good, exists. The rise of social networks, digital production, and internet usage and their impact on popular culture has effectively decentralized popular culture production, with amateur creation and distribution becoming commonplace, the results of which are quite obvious in our daily digital interactions. Regarding written forms and intellectual property in this digital age, one must be prepared to redefine or re-examine at least dichotomies such as authorship, originality, dishonesty, academic integrity, and plagiarism, and from an educational perspective, resist the temptation to police the definition of originality with a traditional or antiquated approach. Sadly, in response to the perception that plagiarism has increased in the digital age, education-focused web-based plagiarism detection services such as Turnitin, which boasts a usership of more than 15,000 institutions in more than 140 countries, continue to grow in popularity. Turnitin works by allowing licensed institutions and their member users to submit written work for an originality assessment. This assessment compares submitted work to information gathered from a search of current and archived academic and commercial databases, as well as the Internet. The service has become the industry leader in the provision of online plagiarism detection software. Turnitin continues to be presented as a technological solution to the problem of plagiarism. However, it has been challenged by its critics in part due to its reliance on accessing and storing other people's work without attribution or royalties in order to detect what it defines as plagiarism. Turnitin effectively circumvents the traditional property rights of writers in order to turn its own profit. As DeCasto and Jensen suggest, access to and use of intellectual property is permitted in this case for corporate profit. The authors go on to say that, in their opinion, Turnitin is simply masquerading as a quick fix to the challenge of defining authorship in the digital age. So next I'm going to briefly discuss the changing nature of writing in the digital age by looking at a couple of examples of digital writing forums that allow, online digital writing forums that allow for some of the collaborative and participatory writing that I've mentioned. So Figment is an online social networking forum that focuses on young people's original fiction writing and reading. It was founded in 2010 by two New Yorker writers and provides an informal social network where writers can share and workshop their work and connect with readers who in turn can discover new stories and new authors and so on. Writers who frequent Figment are known as Figs and interact with each other in chats, within their own profiles or in smaller groups or in larger public forums, all with a focus on reading and writing. This can include reading recommendations, providing feedback, various activities, writing in various genres, sharing author profiles, group collaborations, etc. Protagonize is an online creative writing community as well. It's based in Vancouver, and it allows for online collaborative writing and self-publishing. Protagonize allows its users to read, submit, critique, collaborate, and even workshop their written work. So I'm going to finish by talking about sort of a new pedagogy moving forward around this issue of authorship and intellectual property in the digital age. Sorry about that. So clearly there seems to be a pressing need to shift cultural values around intellectual property and written work in particular, from one rooted in consumerism and ownership to one that is more sharing, collaborative, and participatory in nature. There would also seem to be a need, as Raymond suggests, to acknowledge and accept that certain methods of copying, reusing, remixing of copyrighted works is inherent and in many respects necessary in much of digital composing today, including written works, where it is now commonplace for the writer, producer to appropriate digital works, including various things, photographs, graphics, layouts, templates, coding, audio, and video files into their own work. Moving forward, it would seem to be essential that we ask students to do more than simply passively kind of consume content. They must become sort of active contributors to that content. The vast majority of our students are already participating in this digital world through blogs, discussion boards, social networking, websites, etc. And given this reality, as educators, we are presented with an opportunity, Raymond suggests this as well, to ask them to reflect on this new reality and to help build new understandings and even definitions of things like originality, plagiarism, etc. As Raymond suggests, facilitating and supporting this new remix culture will clearly come with some difficulties for educators, but it is essential that teachers encourage this reuse and remixing through classroom assignments, discussions, and new teaching approaches that allow students to maximize potential for using new media tools for creative purposes, including written compositions. Moving forward, this will require a focus on collaboration and interaction, as well as an understanding of remixing and the evolving nature and definition of concepts like originality, plagiarism, and copying. This new approach will clearly challenge traditional notions of classroom teaching, but is essential to the effective future use of composition and supporting media for creative pursuits. So thank you so much for your time. I've included some my references and also some digital images from the Prezi PowerPoint as well. So feel free to take a look at those as well. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.